Once in a while, Will Smith, I think, is going to have a great offensive year, so might as well let Barnes get this opportunity.
All right, win the day and you win the series. It's the Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs, the middle game of this three-game set. Let's send it upstairs. Joe and EK, gentlemen, take it away.
All right, John, come on inside Dodger Stadium on a perfect night for baseball. The Dodgers and Cubs, the middle game in this three-game series. They try to remain perfect against the Cubs, and they try to remain perfect at Dodger Stadium this year, off to a 7-0 start after they pitched their first shutout of the year in a 3-0 win in Game 1 last night. Welcome inside. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Joe Davis, Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson joins us in just a moment. Really well-rounded game for the Dodgers last night. One big swing from Tommy Edman. One great game pitched by Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, Yamamoto was dynamic last night. He kept the Cubs off balance. Obviously, the splitter, electric, the fastball, paralyzed hitters. He's one of those guys that you can't just sit on one of the other pitch because they're both deadly, and he was dynamic last night. Tommy Edman, I mean, what can you say about him? Thank goodness he does have a bobblehead coming up because he absolutely deserves one. The major league leader in home runs with 6.
Turns out that was already on the calendar, huh?
It was.
I like where your head was at, though. Hey, we can't forget about the bullpen. The 6 scoreless innings from Yamamoto, but Kirsten, the bullpen just keeps on doing it.
Joe, the bullpen has been excellent last night. They were perfect in their 3 innings of work. As a group, they have a 2.15 ERA. And if you look at their last 3 games, they have not allowed a run in each of them. Dave Roberts said that this group, they have been probably the best part of the club to start the season. They've been extremely consistent. Whenever they've had to step in for the starters or pick them up, they've been excellent and they've been available. That has been the key. When you talk to the players, or I should say the dogs of the bullpen, their mindset is it's one pitch at a time, throw strikes, and just attack the hitters, guys.
Sounds like good advice for the guy starting tonight. It's going to be Roki Sasaki. Made strides his last time out in Philly.
Well, we're looking at him to continue to climb that ladder to get to the top. He's getting better and better. His last start against Philly, he threw extremely well. You see the start against the Cubs in Tokyo, 3 innings pitched. He had the 5 walks. The last start, though, only 2 walks. We're looking to knock that down even further this evening.
Never gets old. Dodger Stadium on a perfect night. It's the Dodgers and the Cubs, and it's Teacher Appreciation Night. You get a crew neck if you're a teacher, if you've ever taught anybody anything. And you got a ticket to the game. Hey, we got first pitch coming up.
Seems like everyone's going country.
Leading off for the Dodgers against the Cubs coming up. Last year, Shohei led the league with 54 home runs. Tommy Edman, James, is tied for the major league lead in homers this year with 6. In 52 games as a Dodger in the regular season, he's hit 12 bombs.
And he's got the best nickname, Tommy Tanks, in the game. Look for him to still have he has great at-bats. I mean, that's why he's able to drive the ball, and it just seemed like that's going to continue throughout the whole year.
I think we have another 50-50 guy in the making, guys. That's what we have. We had one last year, now it's Tommy Tanks. Hey, listen, we were talking about earlier. Complete ball player. He's just looking to hit line drives. It goes out.
Don't say can't to anybody, especially Tommy Edman. Dodgers and Cubs, first pitch is coming up right after the break with Roki Sasaki making his 4th big league start.
Where do you find the soul of BMW? It's not just
Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Ford dealers. Check out the full lineup of stylish, powerful trucks and SUVs. It's time to see Ford in a new light. And by Carl's Jr., introducing Carl's Jr.'s new triple burgers. Next time, tell them to triple it. Dodgers trying to stay perfect against the Cubs. They've won all 3 games against Chicago this year. Kike Hernandez getting the team going in the dugout. And the Cubs offense against everybody else, the best in baseball, more than 7 runs per game. But after they got shut out yesterday, they've scored a total of 4 runs in 3 games against LA. Yesterday's game, no runs on just 2 hits. And the lineup that they send out there today, brought to you by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers, as Ian Happ and Kyle Tucker again at the top of it. Seiya Suzuki hitting 3rd. Michael Busch batting cleanup and starting at first base. Then it's Dansby Swanson and Justin Turner's in the lineup at third base hitting 6th. Down at the bottom of the order for Craig Counsell, Nico Horner at second base. Pete Crow Armstrong in center. And Carson Kelly gets the start at catcher. Roki Sasaki described the week going into the Phillies start as an anxious one. He really badly wanted to settle in and do something to feel good about his time in the big leagues, and he came out of it saying it was a confidence boost, pitching into the 5th inning for the first time and giving up just 1 run.
Well, and now he's going to get an opportunity to do it in front of the hometown fans. Obviously, the start against Detroit did not go as he had liked, but this is a different Roki Sasaki. As you mentioned, he's got some confidence. Still going to have to execute pitches. You see what he did. His first 2 starts, a total of 4 2/3 innings, and his last start into the 5th. This is what he's going to attack the hitters with: the 4-seamer, the splitter, the slider, every once in a while. But that 4-seamer really sets everything else up. If he can get that over for strike 1, then the hitters just can't sit around and take pitches. They become aggressive. He throws a splitter. No bueno for the offense.
Exactly what we saw in Philadelphia. You see how it played out as far as the numbers go. As Ian Happ stands in, Sasaki gets his sign, and off we go with a fastball at the knees, but ball 1 called by John Libka. Yeah, the splitter is the one that gets all the hype, but it was the fastball that he put his focus on during that anxious week, getting ready for the Phillies start. And he said he came out of those bullpens feeling good about it, but he said, you got to take it into the game for it to matter, and he really did. I mean, his strike percentage with the fastball through the roof compared to where it had been, and that splitter played off it. He's home with a 2-0 to Happ, and he's missed with his first few.
You do have to remember, though, against that Philly ball club, the first 2 hitters reached base, and they were taking the splitter. They weren't even offering at it. There were runners on 2nd and 3rd. Bryce Harper comes up, and he starts swinging at the splitter.
Yeah, that at bat, certainly the turning point of that game. And who knows? And it's going to take a few starts before we know big picture, but it feels like that could be a turning point for his early season. 3 balls and a strike on the Cubs leadoff man Happ. Chops this one along first. Freeman's there. Feeds Sasaki for the first out of the ball game.
Freddie not missing a beat at all, showing that nimble ability, moving over there. Ankle showing no effects. Does a good job. Gets the ball to Sasaki before he gets to the base so he can catch it and then find the bag. Freddie looking good.
1 gone in this first inning. Sasaki goes to work against the Cubs' best hitter, one of the best hitters in baseball, in Kyle Tucker. Had one of the 2 Cubs hits yesterday. His major league leading 12th extra base hit. He's also leading the league in runs batted in, leading the league in runs scored. In his first season in Chicago, after 6 years in Houston. Sasaki's faced these Cubs once. In fact, his major league debut came against Chicago, and that's where the walk issues first popped up. He walked 5 over 3 innings. And on paper, it's not a good matchup for him because this is a very disciplined Cubs lineup that has the #1 walk rate in baseball so far. Stroke to center field. Pages on the run to make the catch. Hit it on the screws, but Pages able to track it down, and 2 away in the first.
Andy gets a good jump, rotates his body, and then jets out to right center. Keeps a beat on it. Right, so the first 2 hitters falling behind 2-0.
Seiya Suzuki, bases empty, 2 out, and ball 1. So first pitch strike, he's gone first pitch ball, 1 shy of how many times he did it over his full outing in Philadelphia. He was 13 out of 17 first pitch strike. Bouncing ball to short. Mookie Betts is there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning on 10 pitches, even though he fell behind the first few guys. Shohei Ohtani heads up to the plate to lead things off for the Dodgers. Here's the lineup, brought to you by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers. Betts and Freeman to follow. Then Hernandez, Conforto, and Edman through the heart of the lineup. Muncie's in there for the first time this weekend, so is Barnes. They sandwich Pages down at the bottom of the order against 25-year-old from Long Island, New York, and Ben Brown, who has explosive stuff. They say maybe the best true stuff on this staff, but 11 runs in 11 2/3 so far this year. His first one is pop foul.
Well, you get into that whole argument, stuff versus execution, and you can have the best stuff going, but if you're unable to execute at this level, you're going to get beat up.
Yeah, Brown made his debut last year and pitched really well in kind of a swingman role, had a 3.58 ERA, but the walk rate so far this year double what it was last year.
Yeah, and he's going to come at you with that four-seamer and knuckle curve, and the fastball's been hit this year. But again, it's because he gets in counts where he falls behind. If he is 1-0 first pitch, getting ahead, hitters are eventually 5 for 22. If he falls behind and he's 1-0, whole different animal. 8 for 21, over 1,200 OPS against.
He's ahead of Ohtani 1-2, comes back home, and Ohtani takes in the dirt. Dodgers have seen Brown. He was the losing pitcher in relief. Game 2 in Tokyo. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits over just 2 innings of work. And so an early tone was kind of set there with a bunch of traffic and several runs. His 2-2 is cracked into right center field and a base hit for Ohtani. He'll settle for a leadoff single. After an 0-for-4 game yesterday that snapped the on-base streak at 29, he leads this one off with a single.
Ball coming off the bat at almost 103 miles an hour, and gets that pitch. Well, that wasn't that. Let me reread that there for you, Joe.
Not 103.
No, that was another guy here. 82 miles an hour.
I was about to say 103 off a broken bat. Wow. Strike one on Mookie Betts.
Well, if there's anybody that can do it, it would be
that's why I was
Mr. Ohtani.
Right? Yeah. Betts did it again yesterday. 6th consecutive game where he found his way aboard twice. Had a single and a walk. On this 0-1 from Brown, he leaves it upstairs. Average at 311, OPS above 900. Right around where it always is for the perennial all-star, former MVP. Twelfth season in the big leagues. Half his time in Boston. He's now had half his time in LA as well. 5 years since they traded for him. Been an all-star every season. He's won 2 World Series with the team. He's the only active player that's won 3 World Series in his career. The 1-2 to him is golf to left field. Over goes Happ with room. Up comes Freddie Freeman. First game back last night. First game in a couple weeks. Let that ankle recover. Says it's feeling as good as it did since the injury late September last year.
Had a big hit last night. Hit by pitch.
That's right.
And it was key.
Thought you meant the bobblehead. That was a hit too. Yeah, the hit by pitch in the middle of the little burst in the 6th inning that led to the 3 runs. Yeah, you've got the swing that's going to get the headlines and that everybody's going to talk about from Tommy Edman, but him getting let off of the hook, getting hit by the pitch with 2 strikes. Tasker Hernandez with a base hit with 2 strikes right before that.
It really is amazing when you go back and look at a game that a pitch here or a pitch there changes the whole complexion of things. And it's not just the big hit.
There goes Ohtani. Pitch is high. Throw from Kelly. Not in time. And a stolen base.
Fourth bag of the year for Shohei, even looking in to see what was going on. And, I did not think he was going to run as often this year. I just didn't.
After the 59 stolen bases last year. He's into scoring position. Brown to Freeman with the 1-2. And a bouncer foul. We'll see as he continues to ramp up the pitching. Still no timeline on that. Taking his time. No reason for him to rush back. Somebody with the Cubs asked me today, so when is he going to be back? And I said October is the idea, and however long it takes to get him ready for that. Freeman hits it hard, and the son, Tucker, shading his eyes, makes the grab. Two gone in this first inning. You're talking about Teoscar Hernandez's key at bat ahead of the home run from Edman yesterday. Take us inside.
Well, so they had just retired Mookie Betts, and then they get ahead of Teoscar 0-2. And, you know, you're one pitch away. You're feeling pretty good about it. But then Teo continues to battle, then ends up getting a base hit. Again, it seems innocuous, harmless at the time, but then Freddie gets hit. And then Mr. Edman, he does the hit.
You're touching on what I think is one of the great beauties of baseball, peeling back the layers of a game and the layers of a season. There's just so many. You can go however shallow or however deep you want to go looking into a game. Just look at the headline, just glance at the box score, or you can look deeper than that and find the way you got to the headlines.
That man right there feels like he impacts every single game he plays, and it's not always noticeable.
A lot of times he's the one leading to the headline.
Correct. Yep.
Little high, ball one on Hernandez.
Although a lot of time lately he has been the headline, right?
That's true.
It's just it's your major league leading home run hitter right there.
A pretty darn good list of guys who you don't bat an eye at. And there's Tommy. He even said after the game yesterday, I think somebody told him the leaderboard, which has Trout and Judge and Schwarber. He said it's a lot of guys that look a lot alike, and then there's me. Another 1-2 to Teoscar Hernandez. And another foul. With the base hit yesterday, Hernandez a little 5-game hitting streak going where his average is above 400. 3 home runs in that time, 8 runs batted in. More than half his RBIs this year have come with 2 out. Dodgers trying to cash in on Ohtani's leadoff hit. Hernandez rolls one up the middle. Backhand Horner skips a throw over late. Infield hit Teoscar Hernandez. They've got him cornered with 2 away.
Horner does a nice job of trying to get rid of it quick, but almost feel like when he throws it into the ground, it kind of just slows up. It doesn't have that skipping effect. Allows Teoscar, who's hustling down there, get himself a base hit.
Major league average of 2 strikes is about 170. Teoscar Hernandez is hitting 300 this year with 2 strikes. Keeps the inning going for Michael Conforto. First and third, 2 out. First pitch from Brown is inside, ball 1. Conforto is happy to be off of the road. It was a rough trip for him. A 1 for 19. He comes back to Dodger Stadium, gets a hit and a walk against his old college teammate Matthew Boyd. Trying to get the Dodgers on the board here in the first inning. He's ahead 2-0. Here comes Brown. Conforto swings and misses.
Conforto just selling out on that pitch, 2-0, guessing that it's going to be something hard.
Top of the zone, 2-2. A little easier to do that when you can be pretty sure it's going to be 1 of 2 pitches. Fastball, that breaking pitch, occasional change you were talking about. He's thrown 8 changeups the first 3 games, all of them to left-handed hitters, so that is something Conforto has to think about. Deuces Wild in the first inning. 2 on, 2 out. And a 2-2 pitch from Ben Brown to Michael Conforto. Chance for the Dodgers to do a couple things they've not done often. That is get runners in traditionally, passing the baton, stringing at-bats together, and strike early. On 2-2, Conforto takes a curve for strike 3 on the inside corner. And the Dodgers leave a couple in the first. Well, if Sasaki and the Dodgers get 7 Ks in this game, you know what that means. Everybody's going to get a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at LA area Jack in the Box restaurants. Same battery as in Philadelphia, Sasaki and Austin Barnes. As we move along to the second, Michael Busch leads off. Austin said he knew it was going to be different right before the start of the game in Philadelphia. Sasaki, who had been clearly nervous, a little bit wide-eyed the first couple starts, hit Barnes on the chest after the warm-ups and said, "Let's go," in English. Austin said, "Okay, I like it."
Yeah, it was certainly a lot different than in Tokyo when we had Sasaki warming up and Barnesy had to go out and get him loose, and it was just ball to the backstop, bouncing, and Barnesy was doing that all without gear.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Hopefully Sasaki goes on to the kind of career that the Dodgers are envisioning, and that's going to be a great story to be able to tell. We were there as he warmed up for his very first inning in the big leagues, and he hit every part of that backstop. Check swing, no swing, 2-2.
Oh. All right.
Middle of the Cubs order here in the second. Busch, Swanson, and Turner. Sasaki fires 2-2. Fastballs, carved foul. And Michael Busch tore the Dodgers up last year in the first year after they traded him. So far this year against LA, he's 0 for 9. 6 Ks. Including all 3 times that he was up last night. Saying, I got to deal with another guy that's got a splitter. Gave him fits last night. Yamamoto.
Well, good job by Barnesy because he was rushing up against the clock right there, and you just didn't want to get him in a 3-2 count. So good awareness by Austin back there.
Another 2-2 from Roki is stroke the other way. Back goes Conforto to the track, to the wall, gone. Michael Busch, opposite field home run. So he snaps an 0 for 9 against the Dodgers and gets back to what he was doing against them when he came here last year and dominated.
Roki tried to sneak a fastball by 98 miles an hour up in the zone too, but out over the plate. That allowed Bushy to get to it. Obviously he wanted to go high in the zone, which good job. It was just the location, because it was away, it allowed the hitter get to the pitch.
Not only the first home run that Roki Sasaki's allowed, that's the first extra base hit that he's given up in his 4 starts in the majors. He only gave up 3 home runs the last 2 years in Japan. 2-0 on Dansby Swanson. But it just reiterates the point that when he's been in the strike zone, he's been good. The issue has simply been throwing strikes. Falls behind another hitter here. And then a fastball there with teeth. 2-1. Cubs shortstop is 0 for 3 in yesterday's game. Kind of the first piece of the foundation of this new Cubs era, transitioning them from that old group that won the championship in 2016 to this next era. 83 and 79 both seasons that he's been there, but he's feeling healthy again, says he's having fun again. Last year numbers weren't good, and turns out he was playing with a core injury most of the year that had been bothering him for a long time. Didn't really tell anybody the severity of it until after the season when he had surgery. And he's been hitting the ball harder than ever since getting healthy at the start of this season.
I mean, he's so key for this ball club. They're looking for him to have the type of season that he had in Atlanta a few years ago, especially that first half. Craig Counsell, former roommate of mine in spring training when he was with the Dodgers.
Oh, nasty. Splitter often looks like a breaking pitch. Gets him his first K.
You look at the downward action on that. Again, didn't have a lot of horizontal movement, but the drop on that.
Good hand here for Justin Turner. Grounds the first one that he sees to a spot that he's spent a bunch of time through the years. Over there at third base, Max Muncy gets him. And 2 away in the second. With Turner playing third base tonight for the Cubs, it's the first time that he's been there this year. All his times come at first base in place of Michael Busch, but both those guys in the lineup today. In a 1-0 game, 2 gone in the second, and here's Nico Hoerner. Second baseman for the Cubs takes strike 1, and that was a first pitch slider. Fastball grounded up the middle where Tommy Edman's positioned perfectly. Data wins right there. Leadoff shot, and then 1-2-3. Our T-Mobile coverage cam turning it back to last night. The big swing, Tommy Edman, a 3-run home run in the 6th inning. All the Dodgers would need. The only offense in the game, and a 3-0 win for LA. 6 games against the Cubs for Tommy Edman since coming to the Dodgers. 6 home runs. Craig Counsell seems to be upset that he has to face Tommy Edman again. And out there talking with Ben Brown. Kirsten's telling us the pitch clock near the Dodger dugout has not been working, so they're just directing their attention to the outfield, saying focus on those ones. Those will be the ones that we trust here for this half inning, which is tricky for the pitcher, so that's obviously behind him. Fastball for a strike on Edman. As we're talking about those 6 home runs, putting him at the top of the major league leaderboard, and it is quite a heady list up there. You've got a power hitting prospect in Tyler Soderstrom. Wilmer Flores joined the group today with his 6. Then Trout, Judge, and Schwarber. 5 MVPs combined between those guys. 995 career home runs. And then this guy here, whose career high for a full season is 13. And he said, I promise you, I'm not doing anything different where I'm trying to hit home runs. It's just the result of a lot of good work in the cage. Take strike 3 here for the first out of the second. And it's a result of a bunch of other things, too, that we were touching on last night. You said hitting coaches told you that his bat path, elite of elite. We've talked to the strength coaches that have said the way he gets his body ready and his weight routine is way beyond anything you could imagine. So it's not like he's just happening into these home runs.
Well, he does all these things to prepare and to put himself in a position. But it is just happening, right? And it's something that it's unexplained, and he's in this hot stretch right now, and you know what? He may end up with 13 home runs this year, right? It just...
Muncy here. Tough thing, right? As soon as you start doing something well, people want to know, and they want you to go into the wrong side of your brain. You got to think about why you're doing what you're doing. That's not what you want.
I don't know. It's just happening.
Yeah.
Ball's going in the seats.
Little pop up that Turner goes back on and runs out of room. Trying to play a little arena baseball. He said, I caught it off of the rebound. Justin, 40 years old now. He's the second oldest hitter in baseball. Only Yuli Gurriel of the San Diego Padres older. Both those guys born in 1984. Yuli in Cuba. Justin in Long Beach. 2-2 on Max Muncy. Long Beach to Mayfair High School to Cal State Fullerton to 17 seasons in the major leagues, more than half of that with his hometown team. Back-to-back Ks to open this inning for Brown.
Back-to-back called strikes as well. Like we were talking about, he's a two-pitch pitcher. You know, you're getting a fastball or a curveball, knuckle curve, and both times it just appeared like with Edman and with Max, just not looking for that fastball.
Go back to the last out of the first. That's 3 straight strikeouts looking for Brown, and now goes to work against Andy Pages. Chops the first one foul. A little more aggression from Pages, which has been the message lately as he tries to kind of, as Dave Roberts puts it, calibrate to his role hitting at the bottom of the lineup, something that he's not really used to doing. But he thinks that he's gone too far overboard trying to play that role. Pushes this ground ball to second. Horner will scrape it off of the deck. We'll talk more about Pages next time he comes up. We're through at 2 at Dodger Stadium. Cubs by a run.
Hey, Dodger fans.
Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Max Muncy pinches in on the grass at third as Pete Crow Armstrong and all his speed comes up to the plate to start this inning. Fouls back the first pitch from Sasaki. PCA, as they call him, 0 for 3 in the first game of this series. Hitting 200 in his second full major league season. 0-2 as Sasaki gets ahead here.
Well, you fall behind 0-2, you basically earn yourself a splitter.
Right. Make your own bed. Dropped out of his hand, though. That's one of the things Austin Barnes is talking about. He said that splitty is a crazy pitch, but again, he's got to get ahead for it to matter. And finally did against the Phillies. They went 0 for 6 against it with 4 strikeouts after he had only gotten 1 out on the splitter over his first 3 games. Or his first 2 games. Hadn't used it much today, first couple innings. Mostly fastball. Back to a fastball here. Hit straight up there in shallow left field. On comes Conforto. And Crow Armstrong's the first out of the third.
You see the usage so far this evening. Heavily relying on the 4-seam fastball. Again, that splitter is something that he'll use to put hitters away. Saw last at bat against PCA, though, unable to harness it with control.
Goes to work against Carson Kelly. Dodger fans familiar with his years in Arizona. Now in his 10th year, first one with the Cubs. And you talk about making an impression. In his 3rd game with his new team, hit for the cycle. Came up needing a triple, and he's thinking to himself, this would be great, but I've been in the big leagues for 10 years and I have 2 of them. Well, he gets a triple and gets the cycle. The first one for the Cubs since the year before he was born. Mark Grace, 1993. On a 2-0 from Sasaki. Watches a fastball miss low. Grew up a Cubs fan. He was born in Chicago. Generations of Cubs fans on his dad's side of the family. They had to get rid of all the Cubs gear when he got drafted by the Cardinals. Happily going shopping. Restocking the Cubs closet. On a 3-1, Kelly fouls it off, and Sasaki's battled back to make it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the 9-hitter. Sasaki fires. Another foul ball.
Sasaki does have some life on the fastball tonight. That's 2 hitters counts right there that Kelly was late on. 3-1 and 3-2 just sitting on that fastball, but not getting the bat head out.
Sticks with it, misses wide, and the 9-hitter's got a walk. So that's the first one issued by Sasaki. We'll get a word from Jack in the Box.
My Nashville hot popcorn chicken. So much deliciousness starting at $6.99.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Second look at Sasaki for the Cubs. Here's Ian Happ. Inside corner. Not necessarily where he wanted it, but the result that he likes. Splitter taken low. Yanked into right field and a base hit for Happ. Pulls a 97-mile-per-hour fastball for his first hit of the series.
Cubs have been sitting on that pitch, which is absolutely the right game plan. I mean, there's no way that you can try and protect against both pitches, and there's no reason to offer it the splitter, especially when Sasaki hasn't proven that he can throw it in zone yet.
Only one swing, to your point, on a pitch other than a fastball. Yeah. Kyle Tucker smoked it his first time, but a good play in center field by Pages took a hit away. Two and 0. A guy with a sweet, simple left-handed swing. He's not somebody who studies a bunch of video or dives too deep into the scouting reports. He said, the way I'm wired, this game's hard enough as it is without me making it harder on myself. Doing all that extra work becomes overthinking. So he tries to keep things as simple as he can. And he's ahead 3-0.
You know, one of the things for Sasaki, you know, the first time through the lineup, you only walked 1 hitter. But when you're not throwing strikes, it's not necessarily being susceptible to the walks as it's being susceptible to predictability. And hitters can just sit on pitches. Like Tucker right here, I mean, it's obvious you're going to sell out for a fastball. And if it's not a fastball, just spit on it. I don't see him being late on this pitch.
Fastball misses away. Bases loaded with 3 consecutive base runners here. And here comes Mark Prior. Mark was saying he used to make mound visits, all these thoughts bubbling through his head, like, oh, I'm angry and I got all this, and then it would just kind of be just word explosion out there without much direction. But last year he started trying to make a bulleted list in his head as he walks out to the mound, so it's succinct. It's this, it's this, it's this. Because Mark can talk. Mark gets going. A lot of times we don't know where it's going to end. He's going to go and it's going to be a great conversation, but in these mound visits he wants to have his message succinct.
Well, and it's not only him being succinct, but it allows the pitcher to just focus on 1 or 2 things. Because if you get out there and say, hey, like, what are you feeling here? What are you doing here? We got this, this is, and as a pitcher, you're already in trouble, and all it sounds like that Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Right. But if you go out there, look at, we're going to go away with this guy, first pitch fastball, then you're going to go with the splitter. We got him. Okay, that's a plan. That's something I can do and something I can execute.
Big spot early in this game. Bases loaded for Suzuki, who takes ball 1. Suzuki was the first strikeout victim of Sasaki's career in Japan. But he is as hot as any hitter in the world right now. .571 average his last 4 games. Nowhere to put him here in the 3rd. Line drive caught by Tommy Edman.
Go ahead, say it again.
Data wins.
There you go.
Funny game, baseball. You do everything right and you fail. And so it's up to Bush. His first hit of the season against the Dodgers after an 0-for-9 start was an impressive opposite field home run last inning. Kelly at 3rd, Happ at 2nd, Tucker at 1st. 1-1. Outside ball 2. Last 5 games at Dodger Stadium for Michael Busch going back to last year. 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 5 knocked in. Bringing a little something extra to the team that traded him. Hammers this ball in the air to center field. Pages to the track, to the wall. He makes the grab. Andy Pages, robbery against the wall. When Sasaki needed it most.
Swinging it, hitting home runs, and taking home runs away. Andy Pages has no concern for his body, just all about Sasaki. Keeps it in the park. Sasaki happy.
Game-changing play by Andy Pages. Austin Barnes takes a strike to open this 3rd. Game-changing play and headspace saving play for himself and his pitcher.
Yeah, we saw him the other day after his home run, you know, just looking up to the sky right there. And just as dramatic as that homer, as important as that home run was for him, I mean, that defensive play, that saved 3 runs right there. May have been 4.
Ball and 2 strikes on Barnes. 9-1-2 for the Dodgers against Brown here in the 3rd. It is a 1-run deficit instead of 4 or 5. The chase and strike 3, and that's 4 Ks the last 5 hitters for Brown. Another look at Pages. Fantastic catch.
Number 17.
I think it goes. Might hit the top of the wall, but I think it goes. And you hate to make too much out of one play, but think about where Sasaki is in his career. It's still a fragile place mentally. Ohtani on the ground to 2nd, picked by Horner. 2 up and 2 down.
That play had more mental impact for 2 players out there right now than any play so far this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Just simply on the numbers, too. You look at the line for Sasaki, there's so few innings so far. Strike on Betts. That would have doubled, that one swing would have doubled the number of runs that he's given up this year.
I will say this, Sasaki has got himself into some trouble this year and has performed like a magician in getting out. I mean, we saw the first game in Tokyo that he could have just absolutely gone south, and he was able to escape. The game against the Phillies, you know, the first 2 hitters get on and gets Harper. That could have been a big inning, only allowed 1 run that inning. Here,
yeah, I mean, we're talking more than 2 base runners per inning in his major league career. When that's the case, you figure the ERA is going to be a lot higher than about 4, like it is currently. But a testament to his ability to get out of some of those jams. Here's a shot poked off the end of the bat. A diving try by Tucker and a catch. Showing off all the phases of his MVP caliber game. Kyle Tucker back and forth, some defensive gems in this one. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Go to Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Dansby Swanson opens up the fourth for the Cubs, takes a strike as Sasaki gets the call on a little backup slider there. 1 run for the Cubs on a solo home run from Michael Busch in the second. Got out of the bases loaded jam last inning thanks to the catch from Andy Pages. Swanson, Turner, and Horner. It's 5, 6, and 7 due up here. Then the splitter lands on the inside corner. Looking for that put-away pitch. He's got it with the splitter for his second K. Swanson, the one who's provided both.
Yeah, Dansby was hot after that first pitch was called a strike because that changes the whole complexion of the at-bat. When Sasaki was ahead 0-1, then he's able to just throw that splitter, and that thing, again, when it's somewhere near the zone, it's lethal.
Justin Turner grounded out first pitch that he saw his first time up. And he takes fastball high. Thursday was the anniversary of the best game of Roki Sasaki's life and one of the best games ever pitched in any league, anywhere. Driven the other way, Teoscar Hernandez angles back onto the track. He makes a lunging catch. So Hernandez, who has an infield hit, now shows off some range in the outfield. 2 out.
Seeing some outfield D this evening on both sides. Pages, Tucker, and now Teo decides to get in on the action. Really a nice job.
So now it's Horner. April 10th, 3 years ago, Sasaki was 20 years old. A 19 strikeout, perfect game. It included a stretch that set an all-time baseball record, 13 consecutive Ks. And what did he do for an encore? 8 perfect innings before his manager removed him, having set a pro baseball record. 52 consecutive hitters retired. It was the first perfect game in Japan in 28 years. And you think, well, man, as a 20-year-old, how did he have the nerves to get through that? Maybe he had a veteran catcher to guide him. His catcher was 18. Ground ball to short, Mookie Betts. 3 years after the perfect game, got a perfect fourth inning right here. 1-0 game to the bottom of the fourth.
Celebrate Korean Heritage Night Wednesday. Purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Heritage Night jersey presented by Jinro. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
So Rockies are down in San Diego. Rockies and Cubs are going to trade places after this weekend. Cubs head down to San Diego to play the Padres, and the Rockies come here for a 3-game series starting on Monday. It's 2-0 Padres in the 6th inning at Petco as they try to go to 9-0 at home. How about another shutout going for them? No balls and 2 strikes on Freddie Freeman. 4 of their 8 wins have been shutouts, and they've given up a total of 11 runs during that 8-0 start at Petco. 3 teams in the major leagues, 10 wins coming into today, all 3 in the National League West. It's the first time in the divisional era back to 1969 that's been the case. 3 teams in the big leagues with 10 wins, all in the same division. Giants, the other team, split the first 2 games against the Yankees. They're 10-4. Freeman's down swinging, 1 away in the 4th. How about Ben Brown? Now 5 Ks Dodgers had 2 singles, first 4 hitters of the game, but he's mowing them down since.
Yeah, and those 2 singles, a broken bat single and an infield single. So it's not like they're hitting the ball hard or really having any type of early success against Brown.
That infield single is courtesy of this guy right here in Teoscar Hernandez. Showing off a part of his game that isn't talked about enough. He gets covered up by the home runs and by the clutch hitting, but he's in the 85th percentile in sprint speed. Maybe it's the shoes. Fast color.
Well, if that were the case, Mickey Rowe would be the fastest guy on this.
That's true.
Right?
I don't think he's 85th percentile. No, love you.
He's got a shoe collection, boy.
99th percentile shoe
right,
collection.
Right.
Smooth, minty, fresh. Two and two. Browns 2-2. Hernandez grounds one through the left side. It's another 2-strike hit for Teoscar. It is so much more than just the power.
Number 23.
Gets a knuckle curve, backs up just a little bit. Still not bad location as far as being down in the zone. Hits it hard enough to get by JT over at third.
Led the team in infield hits last year, furthering that point about the speed. And another 2-strike hit for him here. He's above 300 on the year with 2 strikes. Conforto, strikeout looking his first time. Hit and walk yesterday. Drives this ball down the left field line. To the corner goes Happ. He's got room to put Conforto away. Two outs and Tommy Edman. First one to Edman, fouled off. Talk about the home run increase for Edman, just simply in how well he's impacting the ball. Huge jump from last year. His average exit velocity 5 miles per hour higher than it was last year. 3 miles per hour higher than it's ever been. Last year you could chalk it up to, well, he hadn't played in about a year. Just kind of by the time he got his season off of the ground, the season was coming to a close. But he's a good hitter for years in St. Louis, and it was never close to what he's done so far this year. All the parts syncing up. Down 0-2 here. Dodgers down 1-0. Bottom of the 4th. Browns 0-2 to Edman. Fouled off. Ben Brown, who had given up 11 runs over 11 2/3 to open his season, gave up 5 runs to the Padres in 4 innings last weekend. 3 2/3 scoreless. The 6'6" righty out of New York fires again. Edman takes inside. He was a 33rd round draft pick for the Philadelphia Phillies. He got sick before his senior season in high school and lost weight that he didn't have to lose. Had Tommy John surgery while he was coming up. Traded to the Cubs. Edman leans out, flies this ball to center field for Cole Armstrong. After 4 innings, 4 scoreless for Brown. 1-0 Cubs. The Pages catch sounded on NHK. Kept this a 1-0 game. There's a chance that's a grand slam if he doesn't pull it back. Pico Armstrong, guy who appreciates some good center field defense, fouls off Sasaki's first pitch. Cubs with a run on 2 hits, 2 walks. The 1 run, though, came on a solo shot from Michael Busch. 0-2. And as this game has gone on, EK, he's more consistently gotten ahead of guys. A couple walks in there, but that first inning fell behind everybody. And then finishes him off as the slider dances in there.
Number 15, Carson Kelly.
God, that, you know, it said slider, but you just looked at that. The characteristic of it barely had any kind of spin on it.
I'm telling you, the slider and the splitter are almost indistinguishable sometimes. Right? Third K, 4-way from Jumbo Jack. Strike 1 on Carson Kelly. It's the first time, by the way, that Sasaki's recorded an out in the 5th inning. Went around, and it's 0-2. Back-to-back hitters that he gets ahead of 0-2. Still just 23 years of age at Rikuzen Takada. Up the middle. Skips by Tommy Edman. It's going to be a tough play with that ball getting up on him. And Kelly's been on both times out of the 9 spot. Runner at first, 1 away, and we check in with Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, Roki Sasaki, after his last outing in Philly, he said that he felt the biggest difference for him and was leading to him being able to attack the zone more has been working on a few things mechanically with his lower half. He said in his last outing here at Dodger Stadium, as much as he wanted to throw strikes, he just felt like he wasn't in a position in which he could actually execute them. So after making those adjustments, he has felt that that's been the biggest difference just in his game, which is allowing him to be in a position like he's in today, guys.
And for a lot of the last year, it's kind of been a search for that, a search for those mechanics to feel right. Devolved a little bit last year as he was dealing with some injuries. Ball and a strike on Ian Happ. And so think about all the pressures he's facing coming here to the big leagues, and then while also battling his own mechanics. I always think of kids who get called up from the minors, it's great when it happens, not because the big league team needs them, but because they've earned their way up and they're clicking on all cylinders. You shudder to think what it's got to feel like to get put into that big spot for the first time while you're still searching to find yourself. Bonda Worms.
Yeah, you know, and I think one of the other things that, you know, sometimes we forget, we think Yamamoto came over here last year and then he had success and was really good at the end of the year. And well, Sasaki's going to do the same thing. You know, Sasaki may have some hiccups, but you have to remember Yamamoto is an experienced pitcher. Yamamoto, again, he is the highest paid pitcher in Major League Baseball. It's not just some young kid coming over. This guy is elite of elite.
Slice into left field and a base hit for Happ.
And Sasaki is he's making his way over. This is a youngster that, you know, he hasn't even built the resume yet, whether it was in Japan or obviously not here yet. So we're going to have to be patient.
Well, Yamamoto had pitched just under 1,000 innings in Japan. Sasaki under 400. And Yamamoto was a 3-time Sawamura Award winner as the top pitcher there, 3-time MVP. Tucker, first and second, 1 away, fouls it off. And so it's a bit of a lazy comparison to make. Just really the only comparison is that they both came from Japan.
Right. I think where we fall into a trap, there's certainly a lot of expectations and hype, right? You know, we fall into that.
Filthy. And there's good reason for the hype. You see the stuff is filthy. He's done it on the international stage. He's flashed it. We talked about the perfect game that he threw. There have been plenty of explosive flashes to earn the hype. But there was more substance to the resume that brought Yamamoto here. And that's why, to your point, he signed the biggest contract ever for a pitcher. And that's why Sasaki's here on essentially a minor league deal with a big posting fee.
I mean, he's basically a high draft pick. That's what he is. He's a high college draft pick. That's what the Dodgers paid for.
Ahead of Tucker, 0-2. Pop up. Muncy in foul ground is there. 2 out. .75 pitches, first time that he's crossed 70 pitches, and it's not that they're limiting the pitch count, it's that the first 2 games he wasn't good enough to go deep enough. Last game, Dave Roberts sitting there thinking, okay, he's finally got something to feel good about. Let's get him out before it gets out of hand. And here, looks like giving a shot to get through 5.
Shooters number 9, Miguel Amaya.
Pryor's out for a visit as Miguel Amaya goes up as a pinch hitter. This is interesting. You got to worry about Seiya Suzuki if you're a Cubs fan. The DH getting pinch hit for in a key spot here. I don't know. Did you see anything on Amaya's line out to second, or on Suzuki's line?
No,
out
I
to
didn't.
second?
I was just going to say that the only thing was it was a line out. It didn't come off the bat all that hard, though. I think 85, 86 miles an hour. So I don't know if something happened. Did he get kind of jammed? Was there a shoulder, a wrist, or something? But you're right. It doesn't make much sense that he's not hitting in this situation.
Instead, it's the young catcher, Amaya. 0 for 3 yesterday. Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing. Top of the 5th inning here in the middle game of this 3-game series as the Dodgers try to stay perfect against Chicago on the year. Try to stay perfect at home. They've won all 7 games here. 2 on, 2 out. Sasaki to Amaya. Dips low.
Got a little something on Suzuki. I guess he left the game with some wrist discomfort, and apparently he had jammed it in Sacramento.
In on him with a fastball. Still life at 97. 1-1. Oh, we talked about it being a stepping stone last week. A rung up on that ladder that you're talking about. Trying to take the next step. Go up the next rung. Get through 5. Here's his 1-1. Amaya couldn't lay off. 1-2. Sasaki shakes to get to this. His 1-2 pitch. Check swing, no swing, 2-2. He'll try it again. And again. Single for Kelly, single for Happ. They're at first and second. 2 gone here in the 5th. Another 2-2 pitch from Sasaki, and a fly ball to left field. Conforto's got it spotted, and Roki Sasaki, for the first time in his major league career, is through 5. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. What a place to view this game and to view this beautiful city. Stan Gabriel's off in the distance. Michael Busch's home run accounting for the scoring in this game. Similar to last night, it's one swing proving to be the difference. Last night it was Tommy Edman. So far tonight, Michael Busch. Bottom of the Dodge order trying to solve Ben Brown. Muncy leading off. Fouling it off. Brown has 5 Ks. Dodgers have 3 singles against him. Guy that's gone from 33rd round draft pick. He acquired in a trade from Philadelphia. Now in his 2nd year with the Cubs. And you see Sasaki over there in the dugout getting a hand. His day no doubt finished after 5 innings. First time that he's completed 5 in the big leagues. Going to be Kasparius. Muncy takes ball 2, just missed. Well, you said it yesterday in the 6th inning. Yamamoto earned a chance to win that game. See if the Dodgers can put Sasaki in position to get his first W. Muncy gets up on top of it, bangs it into center field for a leadoff hit.
Good for Max. He's felt like he's been drifting a little too much towards the ball. When he does that, he runs into trouble. That's why sometimes you see him employ that little back step, tries to keep him behind the ball, and if he can harness that, he becomes lethal.
Tying on the board. Pages up. 1 ball, no strikes. Pages 0 for 4 in this series after getting the bat going in DC, but he has made his impact in this game. His plus minus is way up there.
Yeah, right.
Robbing a grand slam.
I mean, essentially, that's a 4 RBI.
Right. As good as hitting
defense. It really is.
Lays off. He's ahead 2-1. It's at the very least like hitting a 3-run homer. Who knows who would have gotten out either way. Bases loaded, 2 out. It was trouble. On this 2-1, Pages waits on a breaker, sends it in the air to center field for Crow Armstrong. Pause for a moment that time of night where it can be tough to pick the ball off of the bat. Once he found it, no problem getting there. Up comes Barnes, looking for his first hit of the year still.
Number 50, Austin Barnes.
Strikeout victim of Brown's his first time. It's one of the 5 for Brown. Cubs leaning on with Justin Steele on the injured list with elbow issues. Rolled to short. Swanson to second 1. Horner to first. Double play. And 5 scoreless innings for Ben Brown.
Come to Dodger Stadium on Monday for Hello Kitty Night. The first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Hello Kitty Squish plush. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Michael Busch's home run, the difference in this game as we move along to the 6th. Ben Kasparius comes in, and he's been one of the stars of this Dodger show so far this year. 6 games, he's not given up a run over 9 innings of work.
And he and Jack Dreyer have been the lefty-righty combo. Youth has been served out there in that bullpen.
It is Busch, the home run hitter, to lead off this inning. A couple former Tar Heels going head-to-head right here. Yeah, those guys combined, the rookies Kasparius and Dreyer, 18 1/3, 1 run. Dreyer gave up a run in his big league debut, nothing since. Here's a high drive to right field. Teoscar back off the wall. Busch heads for second. The throw's late, and another extra base hit from Michael Busch.
Busch could have 2 home runs and a double. Remember, we saw Andy Paez make the play of the year so far, robbing him of what looked like a grand slam. This had a little topspin on it. Teo does a nice job of getting it in, but no chance to get Bush.
Having himself a day. Cubs looking for insurance here. They've lost back-to-back games for the first time since Tokyo. 9-7, tied with the Brewers for first place in the Central. As Swanson takes a strike. Division is wide open. A lot of people feel like this Cubs team has as good a chance as any to win it. One postseason trip the last 6 years for the Cubs. Swanson, it's a high drive to left. Back goes Conforto at the wall with just enough room. One out.
That pitch is in off the plate, up and in, and probably about 3 or 4 balls off the plate. Dansby still able to get the barrel there, but no way he was going to get that out.
I've not seen much contact like that, though, against Kasperius so far this year. Bullet off of the bat of Bush for the double, and a long drive right there. One away for Turner. Inside corner strike. Turner's 0 for 2. Kasperius, the Connecticut native. Two-way stud in high school for the Staples High School Wreckers. As a senior, he hit .490 at 11 home runs, and he had a sub-2 ERA.
Sounds like the Shohei of Connecticut.
Yeah, right? Good pick by Barnes. Keeps Bush at second. Could have gone anywhere he wanted, really. Chose North Carolina and went as a two-way guy. Hit above 300 as a freshman. But he had a 1.69 ERA, so they said, okay, let's go ahead and focus on that. Ground ball, base hit, center field. Bush turns the corner, comes in to score. Justin Turner makes it 2-0 Cubs.
Slider that just didn't really have much bite, kind of hung up in the zone. Was able to get it by Mookie.
So that's the 4th run batted in for Turner here in his first season with the Cubs. And the first run allowed by Kasperius this year. Low with his first one to Nico Hoerner. So it's a couple old friends doing it to the Dodgers today. Bush and Turner, half their hits, both the runs knocked in. Softly hit. Betts will go to second and get the lead man. Two gone in the 6th. And up comes Crow Armstrong. Kasperius to Crow Armstrong with an 0-1 pitch instead of throw over that gets by, ricochets to Freeman, but it got out of play, and so second base automatically for Hoerner.
Almost took out the first base coach.
It's Jose Javier over there, the first base coach. He's saying, come on, Ben. Corner, good speed into scoring position. Here's an 0-1 to Crow Armstrong that takes off on Kasperius. Here's 2-1. Check swing, went around, and it's 2-2. Fouls it off. 3-0 Dodgers in the first game of this series last night. 2-0 Cubs here in the 6th inning of game 2. Dodgers unbeaten at Dodger Stadium this year, 11-4 overall. There's a strikeout, and that's the inning. Cubs will get another run. Justin Turner knocks in Michael Busch. 2-0 middle 6. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. There's so much free food in the new Jack app, your wallet's going to miss you. Sun has set as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Dodgers down 2-0. Top of the order coming up here against Ben Brown, who has struck out 5 in his best start of the year by far. Came in about a run per inning. First one to Ohtani, in there for a strike. Well, here's where the Dodgers have been so good this year after the 5th inning. They've trailed after 5 8 times, and in half of those they've won.
Well, and one of the things you just mentioning that they're only 2 runs behind, so they've stayed in ball games. Obviously that game against the Braves, that was the one signature one where they came back from 5. But talking about Brown and why he's been so effective tonight, it's really been the curveball. You know, his first 3 starts, hitters were 7 for 24 with a couple of home runs, almost hitting 300. Tonight, the Dodgers 1 for 9, 3 strikeouts.
Home with a 2-1 to Ohtani. It's a fastball, and it's absolutely pounded down the line, but foul. A blur. You could hardly see it. 114 off of the bat, but it's wide of the pole and just a blurry strike. It's even fast in slow motion. Now a 2-2. In the air to right field. Back it goes to Tucker on the track. He's got room.
I mean, you had to hold your breath right there if you're Ben Brown, but it's another pitch right there, that curveball, that he's able to retire a Dodger hitter now 1 for 10.
Well, a year ago, that was the best swing and miss breaking ball in the majors. Hadn't quite had it so far this year, but seems to have found it tonight. He's away with his first pitch to Betts. Had a good rookie season, had a 3.58 ERA, and then his neck started bothering him. It wouldn't heal. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. Turns out he had a rare condition where a bone basically grows another bone off of it. They identified the issue, and he's like, okay, now what? And the doctor said, you just got to wait, because eventually it sort of burns itself off. Betts to third and caught by Brandon Workman, who just checked in for Justin Turner. And sure enough, he said right after the season ended, so he shut down in June with this rear neck issue. Right after the season ends, steps into the shower in the morning, and he said, wait a minute. Pain-free. The burn-off had happened, and he picked up his throwing about a month after that, ramped up for this season.
So it just kind of like dissolved.
I guess, yeah. Strike on Freeman with that breaking ball. Doctor tells me a bone's going to burn itself off. I'm freaking out. I'm not sleeping much.
Some sort of spontaneous combustion.
And it's good. Freeman looking for his first hit here in his second game back. He's 0 for 5. 3 Ks. Bouncing ball. There it is. There's the first hit for Freddie Freeman in his return from the injured list. And with that, the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Teoscar Hernandez.
This ball just getting by Brown. It's like, oh, man. We'll see if that's the type of base hit, though, that come back and bite the Cubs here. Teo has an opportunity to tie this up in one swing.
Brad Keller gets going. Cubs bullpen has been a weakness. Hernandez, 2 for 2 tonight. 2 more 2-strike hits. Now hitting .323 in 2-strike counts. On an 0-1 from Brown, Hernandez with a check swing tapper right side. Horner ends the inning. After 6, 2-0. Special in this game. Andy Pages is just getting started making this play. Kyle Tucker with a diving catch of his own. Andy Pages with probably his finest play as a Dodger right there. Saving at least a few runs, maybe a grand slam, and even Teoscar Hernandez getting involved. And so a score that matches that defensive performance. 2-0. On to the 7th. Casparius stays in and gets strike 1 on Kelly. 9-1-2 for the Cubs. Kelly, another good game. Walking a single. Happ and Tucker to follow. We're talking about Ben's journey from Connecticut down to North Carolina as a two-way guy. Started focusing on pitching. Really, it was when he transferred back home to Connecticut, to UConn, that pitching became the focus. Drafted out of there by the Dodgers in the 5th round. Was not really a big-time prospect. Story's been told a few times. Dave Roberts last year at spring training, the guy shows up and he says, this guy's impressive. Never heard of him. He'd been in the system for a few years by then, and just then jumped onto Dave's radar. This ball jumps off of the bat of Kelly, and Carson Kelly's season-opening tear continues. His 3rd home run, playing in about half of the games for the Cubs. He's among the leaders across baseball in just about every offensive category, and it's 3-0 Chicago.
Just like the previous at-bat, he had 2 strikes against him, but does not give away the swing. Had a base hit in the 5th, and this one into the left field seats.
So runs for the Cubs in the 2nd, the 6th, and the 7th. Back to the top, and Ian Happ. 1 ball, 1 strike. Opposite score of last night's ball game. Cubs trying to beat the Dodgers for the first time this year. And the 4th matchup head-to-head. Scheduling quirk. They're going to play each other 7 times, and it's all going to happen over the first month of the stateside schedule. Of course, 2 games in Japan, but Dodgers go to Chicago in less than 2 weeks. Barnes got hit by the backswing there. The 2-2.
And Ben going to a 3-2 count. Now, he just hasn't been as crisp as we've seen this year. 2 earned runs and just 1+ an inning pitched here.
And a walk for Happ, who's on for the 3rd time today.
This is after he's thrown 12 2/3 scoreless innings.
Springfield number 30, Kyle Tucker.
And now Tucker. Nobody warming in the Dodger bullpen yet. Kasperius, a career starter, didn't start pitching out of the pen until his big league debut last year. And it built up to be a starter again. So higher pitch count, a little bit different for him than your traditional reliever. Cubs the best base stealing team in the majors so far, 25 out of 26. Tied him up there, 0-2.
Two strikes, 0-2. Now an opportunity for Happ to maybe test the waters over at first base.
Broken bat flare down the line and a base hit for Tucker that'll send Happ to 3rd. So the Cubs have him cornered and still nobody out in the 7th.
He's given up some hard hits, hasn't been able to get location, and then he has some bad luck. I mean, it just hasn't been Ben's evening, and he has been great all year long, and just kind of figured he was due for one of these, but opportunity to roll one up here, get a double play.
With Amaya at the plate, he lines the ball into center field. It's a base hit, and it's 4-0. Happened to score. Amaya off of the bench for Suzuki a couple innings ago. Has himself an RBI hit, and they've doubled the lead here in the 7th.
Wouldn't hit all that hard, just off the end of the bat. Came off at just over 80 miles an hour, but found a lot of green grass.
Now it's Michael Busch. What a night he's having. This close to having a career night. He had a home run his first time up. Got robbed of that grand slam his second time. And he said, okay, I'm going to hit it, but they got no shot to catch it. Drilled this double off of the wall his last time up. And he scored twice.
Been playing a little game of wall or over.
To right center field. It's down. Another hit for Michael Busch. Tucker heads for the plate and he'll score. 5-0 Cubs. Ben Kasperius had given up 5 hits all year. That's the 6th that he's given up in an inning plus tonight. And this is what the Cubs offense has looked like against everybody else this year. 4 runs the first 3 games against the Dodgers, 5 of them here tonight. Still nobody out. Here's Swanson. Swinging and missing. Luis Garcia. Another hit. Amaya heads home. He will score 6-0. 6 in a row have reached for the Cubs against Kasperias.
This thing just backs up, and again, as great as he's been so far in this early part of the year, I mean, he was due to run into a little bit of trouble. And this just, everything has just gone wrong. He hasn't been able to locate. He's given up some hard hits, had some bad luck. You know, and unfortunately too, the Dodgers he's up to 37 pitches, and you know, they're in a situation right now where he's kind of having to eat it a little bit.
Gage Workman, Rule 5 pick from the Tigers in this offseason. Ground ball up the middle. Betts is there. Scampers for the bag, and there finally is the first out.
Second baseman number 2, Nico Horner.
Nico Horner, the 8th man to bat in this inning. Barnes saying, hold on, take a look over there at Workman. They're taking a huge lead. They've gone final in San Diego. It's another shutout win for the Padres, who are now 9-0 at home. 5 shutouts in those 9 games. There goes Workman. Throw from Barnes, not in time.
Need to get those guys back on the road.
Eesh. It hadn't mattered who they've thrown out there. Tonight it was Kyle Hart, who had started 3 games for the Red Sox 5 years ago, went to Korea to revive his career, got a job with the Padres this year, went into the game with a 14 ERA for his career. He had given up 28 runs in 16 innings in the major leagues, and tonight, Kyle Hart, 6 innings, 1 base runner, no runs. 32-year-old, game of his life. Fly to Hernandez. Waits for it to come down, makes the grab. Here comes the throw to third. Another run is in to score, 7-zip. As Bush slides in. And it's a 5-run inning for the Cubs. Crow Armstrong, 9th man to bat in the inning. They've batted around. That's going to do it for Kasperias. Like you said, had to wear it a little bit here.
The life of a reliever.
Is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, celebrating 20 years of good times. The new pitcher is Luis Garcia, who gave up a run in each of his first 3 games as a Dodger, but 4 straight games putting up zeros with a veteran right-hander from the Dominican Republic, 38 years old, facing Pete Crow Armstrong here with 2 out. The Cubs team that had scored 4 runs over the first 3 games between the teams this year has 5 in the 7th inning alone. High line drive center field. Pages going back to make the catch. But the damage done, and we stretch in a 7-0 game. Ben Brown came in having given up about a run per inning this year. 6 scoreless innings against the Dodgers tonight.
And what really allowed him to be dominant was that curveball. You see the Arsenal just a 2-pitch guy this evening, but against that curveball, the Dodgers were 1 for 10. 3 strikeouts, only 4 hard hit balls against Ben this evening.
And they've given a big cushion to a bullpen that has struggled. Julian Merryweather for Michael Conforto. There's strike 1. And Merryweather gave up his first runs of the year on Tuesday against Texas, so he's been one of the bright spots for the pen. It's a ball and a strike on Conforto. Loops in there, 1-2. Series will wrap up tomorrow. Tyler Glasnow starts for the Dodgers. That'll be on ESPN exclusively, 4 o'clock local.
Give me some good hitting weather then. Oof, that's shadow time.
Shadowland.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Cubs, as of game time, hadn't announced a starter for tomorrow. Two comes home. Conforto chases up for strike 3. And here's Edman. Ball and a strike. Shot down the left field line. Happ is over and out of room. So 1-2. Another foul.
Cubs certainly looked a lot better this evening, and you know, obviously Yamamoto was at another level last night, but much more disciplined and you know, really forcing the Dodgers to throw that fastball, and a lot of hard hit balls this evening for this Cubs offense. Again, it could be a lot worse if Pages doesn't make that great play.
To second for Horner. And Tommy Zoll, Stanford teammate, gets him. 2 gone in the 7. This is more the norm for the Cubs. They've scored 7 or more runs in more than half their games.
That man right there, Michael Busch, has just had a heck of a night. I mean, every ball he's hit tonight has been hard.
3 hits to show for it. Triple shy of the cycle for Busch. I tell you what, there's a chance the triple was the one that Pages robbed.
Exactly right.
2 gone from Muncy. Takes it low. 2 balls and no strikes. Had a base hit his last time.
Sounds better for Andy, though. He robbed a grand slam.
He did, yeah. Framing.
It's
I got him on calendar.
Sky high, fly ball to right field for Kyle Tucker. And a scoreless 7th inning for Julian Merriweather.
Robinson replica 1955 home jersey celebrating the 70th anniversary of the World Championship presented by UCLA Health. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
First meetings this year with the Rockies, who fell to 3-11 tonight. Lost to the Padres. A strike on Carson Kelly. Some defensive changes to report. Chris Taylor's into the game in center field. Pages kicks over to right. Tasker Hernandez leaves. So does Freddie Freeman as Kike Hernandez is into the game at first. Kelly 2 for 2 with a walk. Single and a home run for the Cubs catcher, who they brought over to be a nice veteran tandem with their young and improving Miguel Amaya. But Kelly's been one of the best hitters in the league. OPS is almost 1,500.
Yeah, this at bat right here, he was down 1-2 and then able to hit that home run. In his previous at bat, he was 0-2 and had a base hit. You mentioned that OPS and having a great year, and he's trying to hide him in that 9th spot.
Yeah. Two and two. Garcia fires. A swing and a foul tip. Just barely stays alive, does Kelly. Caleb Thielbar will be the next man in for the Cubs. Eighth pitch coming to Kelly. And a leadoff walk. Kelly on for the 4th time today. Let's go down to Kirsten.
Thanks, Joe. Well, just a couple updates on some of the arms who are working their way back from injury. So we'll start with Shohei Ohtani. He actually threw his 3rd bullpen today. Dave Roberts said that his command was in a really good spot. His velocity was around that 90 miles per hour. They don't want him to get too high just because he is still working through a few things. His focus right now has been primarily on fastballs. He did throw a splitter in there, but so the focus for him for his next one is going to be continuing to add to his pitch mix and his bullpens, but he's still got some more time before he's facing hitters and kind of off the big league mound and back in the games. Then you've got Tony Gonsolin, who's going to be facing, he's going to be pitching in a rehab outing with OKC next week on Tuesday. The hope is for him to get up to 5 innings. Once he can do that, he could be available to come back to the big league team. Evan Phillips out of the bullpen. He is someone who pitched last night, had a really solid outing in 1 inning of work, 2 strikeouts. The hope for him is that his next thing is going to be a back-to-back. So he's actually going to be pitching following Tony Gonsolin in that outing on Tuesday. And then hopefully he'll have 1 or 2 more after that. And then he's returning to the big league team as well, guys.
Clayton Kershaw making some progress as well. 0-2 on Ian Happ. Dodgers set a franchise record last year for pitchers used. And this year, coming with more depth, they barely hung on for dear life, barely had enough pitching to get to the end. Reached for that finish line last year. And so that was the focus for the front office this offseason, to build that staff to sustain and to deal with what every season seems to bring for every team, and that is injuries across the pitching staff. Two singles and a walk for Happ today. 2-2 on him.
Well, you mentioned that the regular season does not discriminate at all. Every team is susceptible, and every team has to weather things. And the way the Dodgers have built their team this year, it certainly doesn't feel like there has to be that trade deadline deal that they've had to do the last few years. But we shall see.
Ian Happ coming off playing his 1,000th game last week, all 1,000 with the Cubs. 2 things that he said he kept thinking about with that. The first is the fact that it was all with one team is what made it extra special for him. But then the thing that he was most proud of is he said it's a reflection of the work that he puts in just to keep his body ready to play every day. That's a lot of games. Nice round number, nice chance for him to reflect. And then you look and see the company that he's in. He's only the 3rd player drafted by the Cubs to reach 1,000 games with the team. Sean Dunston, Mark Grace, and Ian Happ, who survived some up and downs early on in his career, a lot of criticism. Came with a bunch of hype as a 1st-round pick and had some success right away, but couldn't string it all together and looked like it was kind of hanging by a thread a few years ago before he finally tapped into a little more consistency. And you look up, after grinding through all that, 1,000 games in with your team. Now his 9th year with the team, longest tenured guy. Hooks this one into the right field corner, and he's on for a 4th time. That's his 3rd hit. He'll cruise into second with a double.
Cubs tonight have had 76 swings, just 14 misses, and not a miss right here. You know, you're talking about Ian Happ and his career and what he's done. Also one of 4 Cubs to have hit over 150 home runs and won 3 Gold Gloves. Same company as Hall of Famer Ron Santo, Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg, and former first baseman Anthony Rizzo.
2nd and 3rd for Tucker. And for Happ, it's a guy that bounced around infield to outfield early in his career, so was far from a Gold Glover first few seasons, but finally got some consistency in where he was playing in left field. Puts in a lot of extra work studying hitters' tendencies and positioning, and actually went so far in that he helped kind of redesign the way the Cubs plan as a team for positioning their fielders a few years back. Out of the University of Cincinnati, most famous baseball player they produced, Sandy Koufax. Actually went there to play basketball though. And he heard the baseball team was taking a spring break trip and thought it might be nice to link up with that group, headed down south, get some sun. That's a base hit for Tucker, and the Cubs will add on 2 here. 9-0 Chicago. So Sandy walked onto the baseball team, pitched in a few games in that trip, struck everybody out, signed with the Dodgers after a total of 32 innings at Cincinnati. But he had 51 strikeouts in those 32 innings, and the Dodgers said, we'll take that.
And that was the end of the basketball career.
Yeah, right.
What could have been.
Yeah. He was a big-time hooper. He had pro basketball dreams.
Think they had 5-star back then?
Scouting them in 5th grade. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel Amaya. Into right center field. That ball's headed for the wall and over it. It is an absolute rout as Amaya shoots a home run the other way. 11-0.
Well, get it all out of your system at one time here. Said the Dodgers have been so good all year long, especially out of the bullpen, and just hadn't gone their way this evening.
Four runs without an out recorded here in the 8th, and that's it for Garcia. Miguel Rojas, just what this game called for. A little bit of levity. Hey, not bad.
Still looking for that first big league strikeout.
Michael Busch. Ooh, okay. What's this like for a hitter?
I don't know. I can be honest with you, I've never, when I played, this never happened.
Never faced a position play.
No.
Taylor's got it. There's the first out of the inning.
It's the first time that Busch has not hit the ball hard this evening.
Right. He only hits missiles off of real pitchers.
I shouldn't say it went hard. It was still 95 miles an hour.
That's true. Using Yoshi's glove. It worked last night. Let's see. Was it the arm or was it the glove? What is this delivery he's doing? Is he doing a Yamamoto impression?
Yeah, he's doing it.
This is so good.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, now it's his neck. This is all time. Oh, I hope he goes through the whole staff.
He's just wiggling his hips.
Oh, called strike. Okay, he's going to do somebody else here. Yamamoto again. Into center. 2 up, 2 down for Landon Yamamoto. Yoshinobu Nak.
I can tell you who doesn't find this funny at all is Dansby Swanson. Look at that. He's staring into the dugout too.
Gage Workman is looking for his first hit in the big leagues. And he's got it against Miguel Rojas.
see if he gets the ball. Yep, there it goes.
No shame in that. No. But also like a little bit. Part of him's got to be like, dang, really? Justin Turner does the thing you do, pretends to throw it away, authenticate that bad boy. It'll go on the shelf and be a good story for Gage Workman, who's got a hit in the big leagues. Back to his knack delivery and a ball on Horner. Down to 41. I don't know if it's possible to throw it any slower and still get it to home plate. Miguel Rojas takes over and retires 3 of the 4 hitters that he faces. A pitcher being 2 other pitchers. I'm a dude playing another dude. When we finish up Access Sportsnet Dodgers, the postgame show, James Loney out there with Nomar and John. So you got another inning in you, Miggy? He's saying, do I get to hit? Yamamoto and Landon Knack both appreciating his impressions. Andy Pages, half-hearted swing and a miss at the first pitch. Caleb Thielbar throws. Thielbar in his first season with the Cubs. Been a wild path that he's been on in his career. Started out 12 years ago with the Minnesota Twins. 2013 through 15, he was part of their bullpen, but then 2 years in Indy ball, 2 years back in affiliated ball, but stuck in AAA. Got back to the majors 5 years later in 2020 and finally stuck. Yeah, 1-year contract with the Cubs. 38 years of age now. Stick-to-itiveness. Is 1-2 to Pages. Caught on and missed. Strike 3.
I mean, a lot of things happening tonight that we haven't seen. Obviously, the bullpen struggling. The Dodgers, no offense up to this point. But one of the things that has held true, that the bottom of the lineup is just, it's been non-existent. 1 for 14 now with 5 strikeouts. Make that 6 strikeouts. Again, that's something that has reared its head in this early part of the season.
Well, yesterday a good example of the long ball covering up problems, because they didn't do a whole lot yesterday. It was the one swing.
Yep.
And outside of that one swing, nothing doing in these 2 games. 1-2 on Barnes. You see Rojas is going to hit in the DH's spot. Got his wish. As far as the bullpen goes, they've given up 16 runs the first 15 games. 10 runs tonight.
Right, yeah.
Just one of those that you
flush it.
Yeah.
Right? You just.
And the levity of having this whole Rojas thing. Good way
Right.
to start that process. Back at it in less than 24 hours. Final game of this series. 4 o'clock start time. Charge and a pick by Shaw is checked into the game at third. He gets Barnes 2 out. The Shaw's at third. They move Workman over to short. They get Swanson off his feet. So here's the pitcher leading the majors in ERA, spotless. Who says pitchers don't hit anymore? Legitimately has gotten his bat going the last couple games. 3 for 5 the last 2. It's 1-2.
Tyler Glasnow getting the ball tomorrow and have a chance to rebound after that last outing against Philly.
Into left field. Back goes Happ with room, and this game moves along to the 9th. Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. Got some amazing coming for you here in this 9th inning if the warm-ups are any indication from Miguel Rojas, who's been doing a right-handed Clayton Kershaw.
Kind of looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, me too. Yes. And then we'll call it a curveball. Carl Armstrong's up there. Oh my gosh. 38 hit down the line. Base hit for Carl Armstrong. First one of the series. And a special thing for an LA kid with a hit against Kershaw.
Number 15, Carson Kelly.
That's uncanny, man. That's really good. That's a big league double while laughing. Impressive. Carson Kelly. No pitchers have been able to get him out. See about a shortstop. Who's that?
Oh, that was a long stride on the first.
I can picture it's somebody. Who is that? I know there's people at home screaming at the TV. They have it.
Is that Roki?
It's Roki. All right. Yeah, it is. Crushed. Gone. Second home run of the game for Carson Kelly. Second one allowed by Sasaki.
Kelly, a perfect evening. 3 for 3, 2 walks. It all counts on the back of a baseball card.
Number 8, Ian Happ.
Outlandish offensive numbers for the Cubs. 13 runs on 17 hits in this game. Happ close to a perfect night himself. 3 hits. A walk. Switch hitter's going to bat right-handed here. A wave and a miss. Turned it up to 60.
He did.
Blew it by him.
Radar guns just jumped.
We back to Yamamoto here.
I mean, we got to see a splitter, don't we?
These haven't been splitters. Oh my gosh. I know you never hit against the position player, but how hard is that to be used to hitting 95 to hit 38? I mean, you're thinking just wait, but you're also thinking
This is a free at-bat in the big leagues here. This is a free hit. Help me with myself out. And the last thing you want to do is hit something off the end of the bat like that. I mean, it's an 0 for 1. That's just frustrating. It's nothing fun.
Yeah, because if you hit a home run like Kelly just did, it's like, well, yeah, you did what you should. It's a position player. But any other outcome, it's like, oh, no, the floor is so low.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, when it says 20 home runs,
yeah, no doubt.
Say 19,
no doubt.
But one of them was a...
John Birdie will pinch hit for Kyle Tucker. Waited on it, lofted it into left center field, and a base hit.
Number 9, Miguel Amaya.
Amaya with a 2-run home run to finish off the bullpen's night. Chase Luis Garcia from this game. First one of the year for Amaya.
Amaya didn't start the game, had to come in the 5th for Suzuki. Had himself a pretty nice evening the rest of the way.
Ooh, a little quick pitch. Sorry, he said.
Number 29, Michael Bush.
Now it's Bush.
Got some runners out there on base, having a heck of an evening.
3 hits, 2 runs batted in, 3 runs scored. Looked like Ichiro right there. Everybody doing impressions. Birdie in to score. Bush coasts into second, his second double of the ball game. 9 total bases for Michael Bush.
Tell you what, when arbitration comes around, these count.
Yeah. Although, you know, the other side's going to pull out. We have some evidence here that I'd like to present our case. Just a picture of Miguel Rojas. Betts. Good shot.
Shortstop, Gage Workman.
Gage Workman, first career big league hit. His last time up. And now he crushes the ball to right center field, and he's got his first career extra base hit. Knocking in a pair. And his first runs batted in the big leagues. All right, night where the Cubs have 20 hits. Nico Hoerner just now gets his first. Couldn't even get it out of my mouth.
Pete Crow having an opportunity to get 2 hits in the same inning here.
Started over the double.
Number 4, Pete Crow.
5 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, 5 in the 9th. Going to be close to stirring up some history here. 16 runs on 21 hits and no runs given up. He's nodding at Rojas. Sent up there for Pages. Mercifully to the bottom of the ninth. 16-0, Cubs in front. This would be the Dodgers' largest shutout defeat since 1965. They got beat 18-0 by the Cincinnati Reds, August 8th, 1965, and that season turned out all right.
Well, I'm glad it was in. I thought you were going to tell me it was sometime when I played.
No.
Well, thanks for being kind there, Joe.
I'm here for you, buddy. Mookie Betts takes a strike. Don Drysdale actually started that game. They gave up 6 runs, only went 2 innings. Betts hits a ball to right center field. That is Crow Armstrong to glide into the gap and catch it. Pete Rose went deep for the Reds. Vada Pinson hit one. Tommy Harper with a home run. Giga Hernandez, first at bat, came off of the bench for Freddie Freeman earlier. That is way up there. Shaw for out number 2. All right, so one of those days that will get sprinkled in over the course of 162 games. Even a team a lot of people think could be one of the best ever to contend for the all-time wins record. Even a team like that on a day like this can get blitzed.
And it was really a game up until the 6th inning.
Good game.
I mean, it really was. Things just kind of went sideways from there.
Well, jam shot off of the bat of Chris Taylor that's going to drop in for a base hit here in the 9th. Dieter plays Don't Stop Believing. All right, Dieter. If you say so.
Number 23, Michael
Conforto. To left. This will do it. The Cubs tie this series up at a game apiece. It'll be the rubber match tomorrow on Sunday Night Baseball. 16-0. The Cubs and the Dodgers, their largest shutout loss since the 1960s. For Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Again, exclusively ESPN tomorrow. Back on Sportsnet LA Monday night for the first of 3 against Colorado.